Hello and welcome to this very special episode of Football United, where we look back at the first leg of the first semi-final between Jamshedpur FC and Kerala Blasters FC and look ahead to the second leg to be held at the Tilak Maidan Stadium in Vasco, with Kerala Blasters picking up that one-goal advantage courtesy of Sahal Abdul Samad's winner in Patoda. I've got the company of Erik, Paartalu and John Gregory next to me. First up, gentlemen, the easy question. How did you enjoy the first leg of the first semi-final, and did it go according to your predictions?
No, I expected it to be a draw. I thought it would be a little bit closer than that, but certainly when Kerala scored, it really opened up the game, I think, and Jamshedpur obviously had so much to gain, wanted to get back into it as quickly as they can. They don't know any other way other than pressing all over the field and getting the ball forward as often as they can. Missed numerous chances on the night, to be honest. They could easily have gone in 3-0 up at half-time, but a very, very exciting game, and obviously, as Owen Corder said, only half-time, and we've still got another 90 minutes to look forward to.
I like that, yeah, because it was 180 minutes of football that we were billing it as, and that's certainly how it panned out. A slender lead for Kerala Blasters, but the tie still seems very even, doesn't it?
It does, and you don't want to poke the bear of a team like Jamshedpur. You know, Owen Coyle frustrated tonight. I'm sure in the next couple of days with his team, he's going to have to try and reshuffle a few things, a few injury concerns he let us know about. Certainly in that wide area, they've got a problem now. And I think going to the Tilak Maidan Stadium, it's a pitch that's very quick. It'll suit the Kerala Blasters a little bit more. So I think the Blasters are so happy to get that result and take it back to where they've played the majority of their home games this season.
Interesting, that second leg at the Tilak Maidan Stadium in Vasco. The last time these two sides played there was on Boxing Day, and the first leg felt like a bit of a boxing bout with with Jamshedpur enjoying a few early punches courtesy of Chima Chukku's chances.
Yeah, I mean, he had great opportunities, and as I said in the commentary, I just sat there and I said goal. As soon as it dropped to him, I just said goal, because he's got in those positions so many times since he's joined the club, since January, and he just sticks them in the back of the net like almost nonchalantly without even thinking about it. And tonight he's missed a couple, two golden opportunities that you would normally expect him to score.
Yeah, you can see, like, even with our predictions, obviously we're banking on Jamshedpur to go on and win the game. If they score those goals with Chukwu, and I think Mobashi had a good chance as well, if they score those, our predictions are probably a little bit closer than what they were, but good teams hang in there. They defend for their lives, like the Kerala Blasters did. They rode their luck, and when they got their opportunity, they scored their goal. And that's football.
A lead is very special in any case, in any leg of the semi-final, but for it to come from a local hero in Sahal Abdul Samad must be extra special for the Kerala fans who obviously watched it in large numbers.
Yeah, and it was a special goal. I don't think I probably gave it enough credit at the time. Once I've seen it back a couple of times and just see the ball from Vasquez was perfect. He picked out Sahal brilliantly, but he still had a hell of a lot to do, you know. Just at the end, and he finished it exquisitely. He even actually dropped it right on the goal line, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just to make sure it didn't bounce over the crossbar, you know. So
I was just about to mention that, to get that weight right, because he knew that if I put it, you know, a little bit too short, then somebody might get back and
he had no room to move, did he?
No, so he's put it literally under the crossbar and it's bounced all the way in the goal, which is very difficult to do from that distance, but shows you the confidence of the guy. This is a guy that, you know, he's played for Kerala Blasters for a couple of seasons, been quite underwhelming is the best way to put it. I think he hasn't scored enough, assisted enough, hasn't put back-to-back performances through, but the last couple of weeks and this whole season, Sahal's been one of the standout players.
I know the scoreline said JFC 0, Kerala Blasters 1 in the 38th minute, and come the end of the first leg as well. No away goal rule in this edition of the Hero ISL, but how significant could this lead be going into the second leg?
Well, always you take a lead, given the opportunity. Whenever you're given the lead, just take it, mate, and deal with it. I think it'll be a slightly different game. Again, it's whether or not you can keep Jamshedpur quiet for the earliest part of the game. Keep them quiet for that first 15-20 minutes. But I'd like to think that Kerala will play a lot more football in the second leg. They didn't get hold of the possession of the football in the first leg. I felt too many times in the second half. All they ended up being banked almost on the edge of their own penalty box, and whenever they got possession of it, they gave it away too quickly, and Jamshedpur just kept coming straight back at them. You know, the longer the tie goes on, the more minutes they knock off the clock, the better it would be for them, and maybe they'll just settle down a little bit more in the second leg.
That's what we don't want to see as a neutral, is the Kerala Blasters going there and defending that 1-0 lead straight away. They're better than that. They play with basically two blocks of 5, you know, 5 and 5 defenders, 5 attackers. And they defended well tonight, yes, but as John said, you know, you can't just keep going further back and back and back and banking on that 1-0 to be enough. Chukwu's going to come back firing. You know, Stewart's, you know, he's angry coming off, getting substituted. So Owen Coyle also playing a little bit of tactics with the players he's taken off to say, hey, we've got a lot more to do in this game, and I'm going to need you to perform at your best the next game, because today they weren't at the races.
I haven't seen no defend as well as that, Kerala, this season. You know, we always associate, and as I said earlier, you know, we're always talking about Vasquez and Diaz and Luna and about their ability on the football and some of the brilliant goals they've scored, some of the brilliant passing that they have. But tonight they really relied particularly on their back four and their goalkeeper to protect it. Leskovic and Hormipam were just outstanding in the heart of their defence.
Yeah, the most impressive thing for me with Hormipam, having that facial fracture a couple of weeks ago, and you know when you're a footballer, it takes a special person, usually a central defender, to have an attitude like that. Vukomanovic obviously giving him all the confidence in the world, but he had a face shield on a couple of weeks ago, and he's come into the game and he's gone, nah, scrap that, I can't see the ball.
Brilliant.
So he's thrown his head into it straight away, not afraid, and tonight a performance against a big Chukwu, man, that's a top performance from Hormipam.
Just another word on Sahal, perhaps. I mean, this is one of those seasons where, you know, he dinks it over the keeper and it goes in the back of the net. When Jamshedpur FC were preparing for the game, they obviously did their homework on the 3 Spaniards, but Sahal possibly came out of syllabus for them?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he's sneaked in under the radar. But, I mean, this guy, I hope that he really grows up this season and really appreciates what he's achieving at the moment. The boys that he's playing with in the team, he's learning so much from them every day, and they really have a good understanding of each other. And Vasquez to actually pick him out in the way that he did, and Sahal knowing that forward run that he would actually get a perfect ball from Vasquez, it really sums up the understanding that they have, that little foursome, as you call them, your favourite foursome, that are just working so well together, and hopefully they can just keep it going for another 90 minutes.
All right, on that note, let's hear from Sahal Abdul Samad, who took some time out to speak to us after the first leg of the first semi-final.
One of my best seasons in every way, in goal-scoring wise, and the team, the way we play, the way coach wants us to play. I'm really happy for the team, and yeah, obviously I'm proud to help the team in every ways.
Right, Sahal, you're absolutely killing it this year, mate. Great to see. When you're playing in that 4-4-2 formation, you know, are you working on the timing of the run when Vasquez goes short and you're going long? We've seen it quite a few times this year. Is that just an understanding, or is that an actual, you know, something that you're working on the training ground?
Yes, it's pretty easy to play with the foreign players, with the experienced players, especially Alvaro, Luna in our team, Diaz. They always teach us something in whatever way, even if the little bit, it helps us in every way. So yeah, this is something he always tell me. When he comes short, I just make the run, and I just blindly ran it, and I got the ball, and I'm happy to score my goal.
Tell me, when you made that forward run, did you expect Vasquez to be able to pass it directly to you?
Yes, to be honest, I expected that ball, and I blindly made a run, and yeah, I got the goal in just front of me, and I'm thankful to God that I scored and I helped my team. But nothing's over. We still have one half of the 90 minutes to go, and we just continue our hard work, and we are really focused for the next game, coming game.
Right, on that note, let's hear from both the head coaches, Owen Coyle and Ivan Vukomanovic, as they took some time out to speak to us after the first leg of the first semi-final. How much of this result is a factor because of what happened in the first half where you missed a few chances?
Yeah, I think always, like, when you create, as we did, three 1-on-1 gilt-edged chances, I mean, those are not half chances. They should certainly result in a couple of goals, but that's the nature of football at the highest level. If you don't take your chances and be clinical, of course you can be punished at the other end. With that being said, Kerala defended with their lives, credit where credit's due. We're decimated in that respect, but listen, you've seen this in the second half. I don't think we were fluent, but we kept going, we've got heart, and we were ready for the second leg. We're the champions in the country, we're the best team in the country for a reason. As we've shown tonight, we're more than capable of creating chances. What we need to do is try and get some fresh bodies in the field, because the injuries we've had, Boris missed tonight, then Liana missed tonight in the back of Koma and Farouk, and Len came out. So it's not been great in that respect, but we've got heart, we've got spirit, we've got quality, and we were ready for the second leg.
You know, for the second game that's coming up here, you're running quite low on wingers. Is this going to be a formation change, or are you just going to get some other personnel playing there?
No, I think it's a very good point, Erik. I actually had a chat with Sandy at the end, because maybe it's time to tweak something if I don't have the personnel, and we're capable of doing that, because, you know, we've got a few things that we can produce in the second leg. It's going to be like a cup final. We like that. You know, if we have to come and win a game, then we've shown we can win games. You know, Kerala are then caught in between. What do? Do you hang on for what you've got? And if you do, then you know we're going to keep coming at them. So that's why I think it's poised for a brilliant second leg. We're playing against a very good team with a terrific coach, but we were ready for the game. We're looking forward to it. We've shown we can win. We can show we can score goals, and that's what we need to do. We need to score in the second leg, and we'll do everything in the power to try and achieve that.
That's actually the very first time that we managed to beat our tonight's opponent. If we see 2 games in the previous season, in the previous 20 games, we faced them as well in the pre-season. So today was the first time that we managed to win the game against actually the best team in the league. So when you play this kind of game, you have to be aware of many things, and of course, at the end, it's only first half. We have to stay concentrated, humble, because there will be many more things in the second game to survive.
And we always seem to be talking on this program about your strikers, about obviously Vasquez, Luna, and the brilliant goals Diaz has scored. Tell me a little bit about your defence in the second half tonight, because they were outstanding.
Yeah, but we have a kind of nice cohesion and energy among all the players. And if we see that we are the team, we are the club who likes to promote and develop young players, there is a great communication. The thing that we are doing during the training session, the things that we are practicing, of course, as a coach, it makes you proud, makes you feel great, because, and especially when you don't concede the goals against, like I said, the best team in the league who won the title. So this makes us happy, motivated for the next steps.
Without giving too much away, you know, you're 1-0 up in this first leg. Going back to Tilak, where you guys have been so good this season, what's the game plan going to be like in a couple of days' time?
Now for the second game, again, you know, we have to make an analysis. We have to see what was good, what was less good, and then try to prepare the second game. We will be playing in Tilak. It's completely different environment. It's completely different energy. So we'll try to do our best. You know, we are as underdogs in these playoffs. We are coming from the 4th spot, and I think that we will try our best and try to achieve the finals.
We now switch our attention to the second leg of that first semi-final. Sahal's goal, the difference at the moment, but it's Tilak Maidan Stadium in Vasco. Kerala have only lost 1 game over there. How significant could that record be in a stadium like Tilak Maidan?
Yeah, it's, I likened it very much to an English ground, you know. Had there been a crowd in there, they'd have been right on top of the players, you know, almost in touching distance. So, I mean, for me, it's got a great feel to it. The actual pitch is a little bit firmer, I think, than Fatorda. So I think it will suit certainly Kerala Blasters in their passing game, you know, because it's the ground is much firmer than it is here. So, but nevertheless, you know, they're winning 1-0. They've still got to go into the game. They've still got to protect a lead, and it's not always easy. And any game plan that the coach sort of sets them, you know, you want to be able to stick to it. They want to be able to come out and play, but they know that if they can score first, that puts them then 2-0 up, and certainly then they become the favourites.
And that 1-0 came against what was the tightest defence in the league going into the first leg as well. But can they just afford to sit back now and, you know, keep this 1-0 alive? No.
Kerala Blasters, they need to go and get that second goal, as John's just mentioned. I think, you know, when they have those guys in the front areas that are very comfortable playing at the Tilak, you know, as a player, I know myself, it's quite a sandy surface, quite hard. The ball bounces and doesn't hold up like it does at Fatorda. We're blessed with 3 very good playing surfaces here in goal, but they are all quite different. So if you're a team like the Blasters, having played the majority of your games there, it's an absolute advantage. And I think they'll know how to play in certain areas, what to do. It feels a bit closer. The dimensions are closer, it feels. But for the Blasters, they've got to go and get that second goal. Then they can think about defending. You know, I've been involved in games where, and John will tell you, when you go a goal up and you try and defend too early, at BFC we got done twice in you know, a semi-final and a final against John. So they cannot do a defensive job straight away. They have to go and get that second goal.
Perhaps the other thing that'll give Kerala a lot of confidence is the fact that they kept a clean sheet. Hormi Palm, obviously, courtesy Erik Paartalu, picking up his first Hero of the Match award. How crucial will Hormi Palm and Leskovic be in that second leg?
They are crucial, and they definitely kept Chukwu quiet. What I liked about it wasn't just, you know, stopping him from playing with the ball at his feet. They were fouling him. And they were putting him under pressure at the halfway line, getting in his face. It's the same with Stewart. I'm not talking about dirty tactics or getting red cards, but going in, letting these physical players from Jamshedpur know they're in a contest. So I think if they start physically, like early, hit Chukwu early, hit Stewart early, let them know they're in a game, it's hard to come back from that, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be difficult. But I always think that, as we often say on this show, the best form of defence is to attack. And Kerala certainly have the players, if they want to take the game to Jamshedpur. They certainly have the ammunition in their team to do that. So listen, we've got it's set up beautifully for us, so we're looking forward to a brilliant second leg.
They've got the ammunition and the front four will have to fire. I know Sahal's got the goal, but you'll expect a lot more from Vasquez and Luna and Jorge Pereira Diaz, or JPD as we love to call him sometimes, because we didn't see the best of them in the first leg, did we?
No, we didn't. On the ball, certainly, we didn't see the best of them. But off the ball, they give you that smarts that you expect your foreign players to play with. They were moving on all different directions for the goal. But I think sometimes it's just about finding that movement in those front four. And for Jamshedpur, again, if they play that high line, they're going to get caught.
But also, what we haven't talked about is the amount of work that Luna, Vasquez did tonight, and Diaz in particular, off the ball, because a lot of the times Jamshedpur had possession of the ball tonight, particularly in the second half, and they worked tirelessly, I thought, to just keep them in the game, defending from the front, and they're going to have to need to do that, I think, in the second leg.
Fantastic discussion as always, gentlemen. But time for a short breather on this special episode of Football United. But as we slip into a break, we leave you with these beautiful visuals of the Kochi fan park. Welcome back to this special episode of Football United, where we're looking back at the first leg of the first semi-final, where courtesy of Sahal Abdul Samad's goal, Kerala Blasters find themselves in the lead as we head to the second leg, which will be played at the Tilak Maidan Stadium in Vasco. As you can see, I have Erik Paartalu and John Gregory next to me. We've spoken about Kerala Blasters before the break, John. We now turn our attention to Owen Coyle and Jamshedpur FC, newly crowned Shield winners of the Hero ISL as well. They will be bitterly disappointed at that first leg result and will be edging to get back in this.
They'll be hurting. They'll be hurting badly. Obviously, the run that they've been on has just been incredible. Literally from January, they've just been amazing. They've been the ones that have been scoring goals. They've been winning football matches. And for them not to score, I don't know how many games ago it must have been that Jamshedpur never actually got on the score sheet. So they'll be hurting. And I think, over the next few days, Owen will have to sit with his players, make sure that everyone's going to be recovering and getting ready back to play again on Tuesday night. And they'll come out the traps again on Tuesday night, make no mistake.
Now, Erik, you did a fabulous piece on Greg Stewart, and if Kerala Blasters stop the supply line, they can actually control Jamshedpur FC in the first leg. And it felt like it almost panned out exactly like that, didn't it?
I'm glad you mentioned it, and I don't sit in the villa all day hanging out on the beach, but it's exactly what I was thinking. And there's no one that's done that this year with Greg Stewart or with Jamshedpur FC. There's no one getting in the face of Stewart, pushing him out wide and making him try and work for his assists and his passes and the things like that. And also the midfield too, they were big tonight for the Kerala Blasters, just make sure there's no room in between those lines. But for Jamshedpur, how are they going to come up with something different? If that happens again, are they just going to have to replace Chukwu with Jordan Murray? Who's going to play out wide for them? Will they try and change something tactically? Because slinging the ball forward to Chukwu and holding it up wasn't working tonight. So we're going to have to see something that Jamshedpur hasn't done this year, and that's maybe play a little bit differently. So it's an exciting second leg.
Agree with that. No doubting the quality of Greg Stewart and obviously the work rate as well. But that was the first time he didn't have a touch in the opposition box, and that's quite significant in terms of a statistic as well. Erik, how does he look to counter that? Because he's a man with assists and goals in double digits this season.
You'll have to ask him, because he's on a different planet, Greg Stewart. I'm thinking like a defensive midfielder, but he's an attacking midfielder, and I'm just thinking that when you're not getting space in the middle, you've got to go out wide to receive the ball. But he did that. But when he came across, Cabra knew, all right, now it's my turn to go and get with Stewart and get in front of him. But I think for Stewart, I mentioned it in the commentary, he needs to get closer with Chukwu, because Chukwu and Jordan Murray, when they both played, were very isolated. So when you're not getting that service in between the lines, go and hang around where there's a possible little bits and pieces off Chukwu, or go in behind. Cause a different problem, for that defensive Kerala. So I think for Greg Stewart, he's smarter than I am. I'm sure he'll find the remedy. He has on almost every other occasion. So maybe go in behind or just get a little bit closer to Chukwu.
There's also a bigger job for Owen Coyle and Jamshedpur FC, because he might be missing Len Dungal. He was already missing somebody like Boris in the first leg of the semi-final. And that's a massive blow going into what will be a decisive clash as they look to get their hands on this in the final.
Certainly. And, Dinliana missing as well. And, you could see the likes of Ricky. When he got the ball tonight, he was looking up for options, and there's no one really ahead of him in that 4-2-3-1 formation. So he was, trying to cross the ball from, sometimes it works for them getting that ball into the box, but because Kerala were defending so well, there wasn't a lot of space in behind. So the Blasters really doing their homework. But for Jamshedpur, who's going to play on that side? Mobashir came in and then got taken off. It's a harsh lesson, but in terms of what they have on the bench, they're running really low. That's why we asked Owen Coyle in the press conference after, we're like, what are you going to do in this game? Are you going to change something tactically? Maybe a formation change. Maybe you put two up front and you put Greg Stewart out in the wide area to give you that quality to cross. So I think maybe he could do that. Put Greg Stewart on the left, get him to sling crosses into maybe a Jordan Murray and a Chukwu. There's a difference there.
And finally, and most significantly, where could this battle be decided? You think on the pitch in the Tilak Maidan Stadium in Vasco, slightly higher up in the space between the ears?
Definitely the space between the ears, yeah, definitely. But no, I just think we'll have much of the same. We'll have much of the same for the second leg. The likes of Jamshedpur, I think they'll just go the way that they always know. They'll try and get the ball forward as quickly and as often as possible, and they'll try and get Greg Stewart more in the game than probably he was on Friday night.
Well, I don't want to sound boring, but I think, this could be decided from a set piece. The scoreline hangs in the balance at 1-0, and Jamshedpur is so good from set pieces, but tonight the Blasters just defended so well. They stopped Chukwu, Sabia, Hartley, just blocking them, not letting them get a free run. They've been crying out for it in the analysis pieces all season long. Somebody has to get close and mark these three players. Kerala Blasters did a great job, and again, on the flip side, Adrian Luna hits the post off a Ranesh save. So I think that the game will be decided off a set piece.
If it goes to penalties, and dare I say, I'm sure the Kerala Blasters fans hate me already. If it goes to penalties, John, who has the edge?
I don't know. I really don't know. I would probably say Kerala.
I'm going to go the opposite. I think TP Ranesh has been brilliant this year. Experience and size counts for a lot in penalty shootouts. And I think, Prabhasukan Gill hasn't had that experience yet. He's not the longest of frames. So I think I'll go the other way there and think that, Jamshedpur might sneak that one.
But Greg Stewart can't take all the penalties.
Who's winning, by the way? And what are you going to do if that team doesn't win?
I've just got, I know they're 1-0 up, but I've just got a sneaky now for Kerala. I just think they might just add to it on Tuesday night.
Shave your head off if they don't?
No.
What about you?
I'm not touching this hair, mate. I know it looks pretty bad tonight, and I've had a long night, but no, the hair's staying, mate. But I think, I'm almost getting attracted to Kerala Blasters now, which is a difficult thing to say. Before, it's all the analysis about Jamshedpur, how good they've been. And this is beautiful about football. Just changes directions when you least expect it. It makes you fall in love with a different team again. So I think Kerala Blasters are going to go and get this job done.
These men are not ready to lose their hair, but I think I can assure you that you might lose your nails when it comes to the end of the second leg of that first semi-final. 1-0 the advantage to Kerala Blasters as they head to Tilak Maidan Stadium in Vasco, courtesy of Sahal Abdul Samad's goal. But that's all we have for you on this Football United special from Erik, Paartalu, John, Gregory and myself. Until the next time, it's goodbye.